Hey YouTube, for the first time in, as you can see here, 16 straight legend season, I will not have a 17th straight legend season. I did not hit legend this season. I got to expert, got to 2900, did not go past there. It's actually my lowest, ELO. It's my second lowest ELO ever, like top ELO ever. So the first season I ever played GBL, I got to 2872. The second season that I did hit it, I got to 2992, and then I've hit legend 16 straight seasons. So this is the first time since season 1 of GBL that I have not passed the 2900 ELO. I did pass it, but barely passed the 2900 ELO mark. So what we're going to do in this video is we are going to take a huge in-depth analysis of everything that got me to this position, what I would need to work on to hit legend, and a bunch of discussion. Now there's one thing for sure that was not my fault. There's one thing, the big thing I'm going to talk about, the algorithm keeping at 50%. I'm going to talk about that a lot. And then there's like 6 things that are my fault. So we're going to go over all those. But I wanted to give you, again, I'll just give you quick timestamps below because I think this is going to be a much longer video. It's going to be a lot of me talking about everything about GBL, my past GBL, this channel, the problems of GBL this season, and then all the flaws that I have as a player, and why I didn't hit legend. So timestamp below if you want to just jump to any of those. But let's just go over, again, let's just quickly go over GBL and the history of GBL, because when GBL started in season, like way back when, season 1, first, there was a walk-in requirement. So you only got 1 free set per day, and then you had to walk 3 kilometers, I believe, to unlock another set. So back in the day, in my first couple seasons, as someone who did not walk a ton, again, even back then I was working downtown full time, but I would just like catch a bus, go to the office, maybe walk around a little bit at lunch, and head home on the bus, and then that's it. So I would maybe get like 2 to 3 sets per day. But back in the day, 2 things happened. Every single person was playing and no one knew what the hell they were doing. So when I used to go for raids at lunch downtown, there was like 30, again, this is when Pokemon Go was so popular. I could walk downtown at lunch. There was like 50, 60 people doing a raid. Every single person was talking about GBL. Every single person was playing GBL. We're talking about like which Pokemon you use and stuff like that. It was very exciting and everyone was playing it. At the same time, there weren't many FP sticks and wallowers and stuff like that right off the bat. It was so new to everyone that no one knew what the hell was going on. So people were learning about what Pokemon were strong. People were learning about what like typings and stuff like that. Like this was new for a lot of people. So the quality of people were bad early on. And that's why I said in my first season, I didn't know what I was doing. 28, like 80, something like that. Second season, I still didn't really know what I was doing. I got to almost legend. And then third season on, I've hit legend every single time. And I've hit legend every single time with little difficulty, quite honestly. It's been pretty easy for me to hit legend every season. But as the seasons have gone on, the competition has gotten harder and harder and harder and harder. And I'll talk about that a bit in my flaws, but like pretty much at this point, it seems like people in the 2400s realistically know how to count, know how to optimize fast move timing, know how to catch, know how to do stuff that this was generally just like legends before that did this. But now it seems like the amount of players that know how to do that is like astronomical compared to what it was in the past. So the competition has increased substantially. Fast forward to my channel, because this is something else that is affecting, how do I want to do this? Okay, let's talk about the one reason for sure I did not hit legend that was not my fault. The game. I can pinpoint 25 to 30 times that the game completely froze on me, shut down, just like gave me the spinning ball death, did not work properly. That cost me a win. So when you are in Pokemon Go, you realistically cannot get to legend just by 3-2ing it, because you get like 6 or 7 points. You need those 4-1s, you need those 5-0s, and you want to minimize your 0-5s and 1-4s, right? So losing 2-3, not bad. Gaining 2-3-2, not bad. But the real wins and losses to hit legend or not hit legend is in the amount of times you can 4-1-5-0 versus the limiting your 1-4-0-5s. There was multiple times this season that I should have won 4 or 5 games that I won 3 games because of this game, because of just like the stupidity of the lag and stuff like that. And there are some times that I should have like maybe had 2 losses that 2 wins that I had like 1 win. And when you're like losing 40 plus 50 plus ELO on one end and 40-50 ELO on that really adds up. So like 25 to 30 losses doesn't seem like a lot in the grand scheme of things, but it does when the difference in ELO gains and losses is like 30 to 40 each time you lose one of these, right? So there's a huge problem with the game. I know this was not just a me thing. I know a lot of people dealt with it, but I felt that me having an Android phone in particular, Android seems to be never been good for GBL. So I felt it a ton this season, and that has definitely cost me. Let's talk algorithm, because I joked about this multiple times now. So first of all, I have put out a video saying there's no algorithm hunting you. It's just statistics. And statistically, if you are playing 2,500, 3,000, yeah, I think I play like 2,000 GBL games this season. And you assume a standard distribution, basically. So what that means is you're going to have your outliers of being like hard countered is like somewhat small, and then like lead losses goes up a bit, and then like most of yours is like an average duration, like average curve in the middle, and then you tail off with the hard wins at the end. So statistically, although you do focus on those hard counters, you statistically probably should have the same amount of hard counter wins, like hard counter. Yeah, you should hard counter your opponent and have basically the same amount of wins as you do getting hard countered and losing. And then there are basically the majority of the games that were either you had like your probability of winning was lower, it was even, or it was higher. And that's just the standard distribution. So now the bigger question is, based on that, is there a matchmaking system? And I think everyone agrees that there is some sort of matchmaking system. Like even those who don't believe in like an algorithm countering you believe in a matchmaking system. And that's basically finding people in your range to battle against, right? You're never in the 2,500 battling against like 3,000 yellow people, right? So of course there is a matchmaking system to match you up with people in your range. The next step is, do you believe there is a 50% win rate matchmaking system? And this is where I'm now starting to move a little bit. But if you move to that step, the next step is the logical to keep you at that thing. There is an algorithm that will give you tougher matchups. So if you believe that this matchmaking system is aimed at keeping you at 50%, then statistically, if you are above the 50% win rate, the game will match you with not necessarily a hard counter, but a matchup that you are more likely to lose to keep you at 50%. Now, my win percentage, if you actually looked at, I should have screen capped it. But my win percentage over the season of GBL since like the beginning time is about 51 to 52%. And really, even like the elite legends probably only have a 55 to 56% win percentage. Like there is a difference. And again, you don't think there's like what's a 5% difference? 5% difference is actually huge in a win rate when you're playing this many battles. So there's a significant difference between if you have like a 56, 57% win rate versus if you have a 51% win rate versus if you have like a 46% win rate. Like those are substantial differences in players' ability. So I've always been an average player, right? I'm not going to be below 50% because those are generally players that need like more skill. Like realistically, they need to develop more skill. And I will never ever be a 57, 58% win percentage. I was always in the 51% win percentage. This season, I think I was barely above 50. Again, what cost me, again, so if you look at my win percentage, maybe it's down like 1% from last year and 1% from all these other years, but it's only down like 1%. So I'm still winning a lot. It's just, again, one of the main reasons I did not hit legend, and I'm going to show you on this one. So 9-1 Electro, too easy. 2945, 2400 to 2945 ELO with 3 strong teams. 24-4, 13 game win streak with my tryhard team. Every single season of GBL I have played, I have found a team that runs and runs hard. Hey, look at my GBL algorithm one. Yeah, so every single season I've played, I have found a team where I can just go on this 24-4 record. I'll grind with it. I'll keep my videos up to date, but I'll go on a heater with a team. I did not find this team this season. I found this meta very, 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 very difficult to deal with. And it was because this meta was the most limited it has been in a long, long, long time. And what I'm saying by that is, like I said, the Skarmory Swampert core has been a thing since season 1 of GBL. You now have Skarmory Swampert core, Skarmory Whiscash score, which is basically on steroids, because basically Whiscash is a much improved version of Swampert with the spamminess of the Mud Bomb and the hard hitting and attack lowering of Scald, mixed with now a Steel Wing Skarmory that got buffed to the moon and is able just to like wall a ton of Pokemon. So between that core with like Annihilate, between people just going like the Bastiodon, Tropius, Medicore line, I could not for the life of me find a team that could go past that. I tried joining them. I tried countering it. I tried bulk teams. I've tried like glass cannon teams. I tried everything. I could not find a team that gave me this 24-4. The longest win streak I had this season was 10. And that is probably my longest win streak I've ever had in GBL. Usually, okay, not like I go on like a 24 game win streak, but I would go on like a 16, 17 game win streak. And again, when you're pumping out 5-0s and moving up 90 ELO, that is significantly different than when you're like going 3-2s and cannot just get to that win streak. So reason number 1 that it is my fault is was not able to find a team that worked. I guess I didn't even finish my thought on the algorithm. Sorry, this is all off the top of my head, obviously. So let me go back to the algorithm for a second. This season was the closest I came to, you've got to be kidding me. I used like a Whiscash lead, I would see a Trevenant. I used a Walrein lead, I see Lanterns. I used an Umbreon lead, I would see freaking Whimsicott. And it was the closest I ever had to like this thing is beating me down to the 50% range right now, this game. And it's maybe like offset with like, and I think, and this is the problem with me, I don't know whether I'm focusing on it more because of, you know, if you add, like I said, if you add those 30 wins that the game cost me because it screwed up to my record and I'm a couple hundred ELO higher, I probably don't think about these hard counters as much. But when I'm at 2900 trying to hit legend, getting matched up with I'll talk about legends in 1 second here, that are hard countering me, you just focus on it more. So again, do I think the matchmaking system tries to keep you at 51%? I don't know. I honestly, I'm at the point where I don't know if there's a system that keeps you at 50% or it's just like a standard distribution that keeps you at 50%. Because the argument is in the game, you want to keep everyone realistically the same, and then skill level will dictate whether you jump to 55, 56%. Because the argument, I'm going to make you an argument for the algorithm people. The argument for the algorithm people is if there is no algorithm to keep you at 50%, given the skill level of some of these people in the game, you would probably see people with a 65 to 70% win percentage overall, because even in some of those ones that they should lose, they're good enough to come back from. So even if you have a standard distribution, their curve would swing more towards the wins because they're that good. So part of me believes that there probably is some sort of matchmaking system to keep you around, doesn't need to be 50%, but probably around like 50 to 53%. And if there is a system to do that, they realistically need to try to, I don't think Niantic is smart enough to, I'm not going full Poke AK. I refuse to. I don't believe there's a system. I don't believe Niantic is smart enough to code, I'm going to look at your team. I'm going to find someone in your ELO range that's on at the same time, that's matchmaking at the same time as you, read through their team to know if they hard counter you. I don't think Niantic is, quite honestly, I don't think, not only do I think they're smart enough to program that, I don't think they care enough about GBL to program that. Right? They don't care about, we know Niantic does not care about GBL. The argument against the algorithm is this. Niantic does not care about GBL. If you have an algorithm that keeps people at 50% win rate, forcing them to not hit legend and grind more, that takes away from your core objective of getting people out and playing the game. So if there's truly an algorithm, it goes against the basic foundation of how Niantic wants you to play that game. So that is why I don't think there is that extreme of an algorithm of, I'm going to find someone who's online right now who's trying to match with you and just hard counter you. Like, I don't believe that. But I do believe there's probably some sort of system that tries its best to keep you at like 50 to 55%. And then the better people just play better. Okay. Why did I not hit legend this season? So I already gone over one. I could not beat the meta this season. I could not figure out a team that got me this 24-4, 2400 to 2900 run. I could not figure that out. So that's, again, maybe part on me for team building. I think it's part of, it's part of me in team building. It's part of me in stubbornness. So why I'm not even showing you my ELO right now for this season is because I was at like 2800. I tried hard and I lost like another 100 ELO, so that's 2700. And then I'm like, you know what? If I'm not going to hit legend, I'm going to have fun. And I used my Kanto Ninetales on the lead for one set. Lantern, Whiscash, Mantine, Bastiodon. Those were my 5 leads with Kanto Ninetales. I went 0-5 and I dropped down to like 2600. And then I'm like, okay, I know I'm not going to hit legend. So with the lack of Pokemon you're able to use. Someone actually mentioned in my video the other day is like, why are you using Togekimaru? Like, why don't you just use Magnezone? It's way better. And you're right, it is. Togekimaru is not good in this meta anymore. Ninetales is not good in this meta anymore. Pokemon that I had dominated with are no longer useful in the meta because the meta is so limited. So I don't know if it's just like I did not adapt enough team building to overcome that hump. So I think probably a bit of the team building is on me. But that goes into videos here. And if you look at my video, if you look at my channel, you may have noticed something. Let's look at my past week. 3 hours ago, 22 hours ago, 1 day, 1 day, 2 day, 2 day, 3, 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, 7, 8. I'm pumping out 2 videos a day. And there is 3 things about this, why I'm pumping out 3 videos a day, that has cost me legend this season. The first is, this is the first time since season 2 that I have not hit legend. Last season, the end of last season, if you looked at my GBL stats, I can go on record saying I'm probably the top 10 most played GBL games in Pokemon Go, because I played, again, the first 2 seasons you had to walk, so anything I did unlock I played, And then from season 3 on, it was unlimited 5 sets. Since season 3, I played every single set, every single day, including Go Battle days. So 5 sets every single day if they allow me to play 5, 20 sets on the Go Battle days that they allow me to play 20. And I played that every single day since GBL gave us that in season 3. So I had, oh God, I don't even know. I should have brought up the statistics, but I had like 45,000 plus GBL, maybe 50,000 GBL battles. Like last season, I was feeling a bit burnt out, and I was like, I had already hit legend, and I'm like, you know what? For the first time since season 3, I'm not going to play. I'm going to take my time off GBL battles. And I did that. And it honestly was a load off. And I started the season slow, same thing. I did not, once I let that like pressure to play go, it was okay. Legend. Don't get me wrong. I did want to hit legend. I tried to hit legend. I'll talk about how I'm not good enough anymore in a second, because that's another one of my flaws. We'll talk about that in a second. But I did not hit legend for the first time since season 2. I am not feeling any sort of like anger about that. And I honestly feel more of a relief, like I did not playing the GBL battles every single day. Like I like that down. Like I have to keep the streak up. I've got to keep grinding to hit 17. Like that, now that pressure is off, it feels like it does not matter anymore. And why it doesn't matter, and I've talked about this. If you let me open up my Twitter. If you go to my profile, can you see it here? This was when I hit number 18 on the leaderboard, 3,200 in 1,000 battles, ranked 24 at the time, which is legend. Number 18, I was actually below Auburn. So if you have not, if this is the history of GBL, if you don't know this, Auburn, there was always the GBL like rankings, like leaderboard, and you'd have people like whatever, like same thing, 1,000 matchups, 3,200 with 1,000, almost 1,100 matchups. And then you have Auburn, who was actually right above me at 3,200 with half the battles. He was always on the list with like a third of the battles of everyone else. He just like would hit 3,200 in like 450 battles. It was just like always crazy. Anyways, so I hit number 18 on the Go Battle League leaderboard. And after I hit number 18, my first set after, I went 4-1 and I got like 3 points. And then the next set after, I went 2-3 and I lost like 70 points, because up in that range, they skew the ranking system to like not allow you to just like push. It's not just like, oh, you went 4-1, you get another like normal 40 to 50 points that you would get lower. Like, no, you get like minuscule, because they're not letting you just run away. Put on the fact that it also takes me about an hour and a half to do battles at this ranking. So there is no rationale for me to hit leaderboard, and there's no rationale to be me anywhere near the leaderboard, because there's no incentive to be on the leaderboard. There is no incentive to hit legend unless you want to Pika Libre. I have 16 Pika Libres. What is a 17th to me? Maybe shiny. I'm not a shiny collector. So there actually is no incentive to hit legend, and for that, I don't feel like I don't have the FOMO of hitting legend this season. I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything. And that brings me back to the channel that I just talked about. I'm now posting 2 times a day, which means that in the past, when I was posting once a day, I could find that team and run with it hard, because I could find like a team that did like okay and do like 2 or 3 sets, find a team that did okay 2 or 3 sets, and then find a team that like rocked and play with it for like 2 or 3 days straight, because I was only uploading once a day. I'm uploading twice a day now, because at this point in my GBL/YouTube career, I care more about my YouTube channel growing and making money from it than I do from hitting legend in GBL. So someone always asks me like, you switch your team so much. Should I be switching my team up much? No. You should find a team. You should learn the in and outs of the matchups, and you should grind with it for days. And when I played, again, one of the reasons that I always hit Legend in previous seasons is because I was only doing 1 video a day. So I could find a team and grind with it, but I'm not doing that anymore. If I'm putting out 2 videos a day, I need to run through like 13 to 14 teams in a season, in like a week, which means that I need to do 2 sets. And for me, I won't showcase something to you guys unless I go 6-4 or 7-3 with the team. So if I use a team and go 7-3, 8-2, I stop using it. I upload the battles, I shoot the video, and I change the teams. Where a smart person who actually cared about hitting Legend would just keep grinding with the team. So because I'm focusing on videos and doing the turnover so quickly there, I am giving up potentially good teams and learning how to use those good teams for the offset of uploading a video. And again, I do that because for me at this point, I'd rather see my subscriber grow and money in my pocket as opposed to hitting Legend for the 17th straight season where there's really no benefit associated with that. So I'm still bringing you guys good teams overall. Like, right? You have like an 18-7 Lantern team here. You have an Annihilate team, like very meta Gligar Annihilate Lantern team here. Like, I'm giving you guys good teams, but I'm often not using them any more than just like 2 sets. So that's the first issue. I mean, I guess the second issue is that I couldn't find the team that goes 24-4, and 2, maybe I did find the team that goes 24-4, but I actually did not grind with it because instead of playing with that team for 28 games, I stop after 10. And that is a huge issue when you're not a good battler anymore. And that leads me to number 3. Do I think I'm washed? Yes and no. I think that I can't get away with what I used to get away with. And again, you can't look much further than am I completely washed? I just ran to the Toronto Finals Group A and only lost to the champion. I mean, I lost to 2 people, but I lost to the champion of in the Finals Group A. I lost to the eventual champion of the Toronto Regionals. And I went through like Seviper. I went through Final Boss AJ. I went through like elite battlers and won all those matchups. So I think I'm still a good battler. However, I mentioned earlier, and I'll just go to YouTube comments. Hey Dan, big fan of your videos. I'm only above 3,100 this season, but constructive criticism. Let me just make sure you guys can read it. Okay, good. At 932, you throw in timing, which lets the A/ do the obvious play and tie you, which loses 3 to 4 mud shots of overfarm. It doesn't change the outcome of the game, but it's kind of a play. You made it sound like it's not a big mill, but it's a pretty big misplay at the ELO, and the inconsistencies like this makes you tougher to rank. And the amount of times that I had people tell me, you screwed up your timing on this. You screwed up your timing on this. Why did you make this play? Again, in the earlier season GBL, I can get away with that because no one knew what they were doing. But like I said, now every single person knows how to time properly, catch properly, optimize, do all that stuff. And I know how to do that stuff, but I don't focus on that when I'm playing. And again, that's a mixture of I've never focused on that stuff. I've never counted. I've never cared about optimizing timing, and I've always gotten away with it, but I can't get away with it anymore. So if I truly want to make that, and again, there are matchups where throwing on improper timing, just making like bad catches, making obvious plays have cost me games. And those are games that if I actually like put the effort in, I would have won those games and it would have changed my outcome in the season. So I'm at the point where it's like, do I think I need to put a bunch of effort into it to get up to a certain level? I don't think so. And again, I've played like 45,000 battles at GBL. I've done so many side tournaments. I've done gym breakers. I'm on factions. And I know that I'm just a good enough battler in general, but these little things do cost me wins. So, the question is this an outlier season, Or has the competition caught up with me enough that this is a big issue going forward that I need to actually start learning this stuff and doing it again? I don't know. I'll figure out more next season. And I'm going to post a video this afternoon that I hope you guys all check out of how I'm going to change this channel, because I think one of the problems is like not what I just mentioned in the previous one is not learning a team. So what I want to do is focus more on like shoutcasting, because people also mentioned that like I like when you shoutcast more, because like you think like when you showcase your teams, you look at it from a very different lens than when you showcase other teams, and you do more like critical analysis on like gameplay and others, which I don't do in mine, because again, I'm just going based on feel in mine. But when I shoutcast others, I'm doing more like analytics of like, oh no, like timing on this, and just like this is how you need to catch, or this is how you need to shield, and people seem to appreciate that more. So I want to shift my channel to a certain extent that way, which I think will help with one, giving you guys like a different look of like how like just people find those videos helpful because like they're more analytical, and two, will allow me to not have to run through 14 teams in a week season. So that's that. Let me just talk about the legend thing, because I saw a lot of people call me out on this. Let me just clarify. I do not expect legends to throw to me. They're under no obligation to throw at me. However, if I'm a legend and I'm at 2,900 and I see an expert and I am running a meta team like Lantern on the lead, and I run into my opponent who's running Wall Rain, and then my opponent switches and I hard counter them on the second, I'm top lefting. There's 2 to 3 days left in the season. There's clearly an expert trying to run. I'm running a meta team. I'm already legend, and I just hard counter them, whether it's an algorithm or just unlucky for them. I'm giving it up. So when I called out that user, it was because they had a very meta team which hard countered me and were trying to win even though they hit legend. So again, people are like, you shouldn't have done that. It's BS. Yeah, you're negative. Yeah. Fine. Maybe. But personally for me, I would have never done that. Again, I do not expect the average legend to throw to me. In fact, I don't want every single legend to throw to me. People have been like, do you need a paid actor when you're on? I'm like, I don't need paid actor. Like if I don't hit legend, I don't hit legend. And again, I don't care too much about that. But like, if you're going to use meta and you're 2 days from the end of the season, like just give experts a thing. And again, you can go back. I've showcased videos when I've done this. Like people are like, oh, you're just saying you do that. Like, no, like there are videos of me where like there's a video with like me opening the gates of in the thumbnail of like legend, because I like just throw to people. Again, you don't have to. You can play your own game. You can do what you want. I just think it's like what I would do. So there's that. Other reasons I didn't hit legend. Okay, so we went over the 50% win rate. We went over not hitting that stride of teams. We went over not finding teams. We went over the repeat of the focus on the channel as opposed to focusing on the games. We've gone over that I'm just not a good battler anymore, where I don't focus on the timing and stuff like that and just do stupid misplays. What are the other reasons that I did? I mean, that's already 5 reasons why I didn't hit legend. The competition is better. I've already talked about that. I already talked about the state of the game. I think that's probably the main reason. So if you want me to actually rank the reasons that I didn't hit legend, the first would be, honestly, the first for me would be I did not find that go-to team this season. I really had a tough time with this meta. And not being able to find the team to go on that 20-0 run really kills you. So like, again, the game did cost me some of those 4-1s, 5-0s, but I also cost myself 5-0s by not finding a team that can just like run. The second thing is, I think I can see my video lag, it's really bothering me. The second thing is the skill level of everyone has increased while I have not increased with them. So again, I can really easily pick up dozens of more wins if I actually focus on my fast move timing and I focus on counting and all that stuff that I don't do. I could definitely pick up more wins. So that would be on me. And then the third reason was just because, like, again, I'm focused more on the channel. I'm focused more on the channel than I am GBL, so I don't feel the pressure and obligation as much to hit legend as I have in past seasons. So I think those are all the reasons that I didn't hit legend this season. Like, I can just go back and hit potentially legend next season. I think next season will be a good benchmark for me, because again, I play gym breakers, I play factions, and I did the Toronto regionals, and I did extremely well in all three. So it's not like I don't have the skills, because in those things, like factions were in like the second or third highest tier. Gym breakers were up there as well for Team Canada. And then again, Toronto, again, I played like legends, super strong players, and I beat them before I eventually lost to the champion. Like, so I'm not completely washed. I know I'm not completely washed. But there's definitely things that I can improve on. So now the question is, can I get by? Is this just an outlier season where I just couldn't figure out the meta and I focused too much on the channel and the game lag and stuff like that killed me and I couldn't get on a run? Is there enough other factors into it that cost me legend this season? Or is it truly everyone is now way better and your gameplay needs to improve if you want to hit legend? I don't know. We will see. Again, this season, there were times, the 2500 EL range and the 2800 EL range, I was in those ranges for like a month each. And I never had that before. And I couldn't break it. And again, I can't pinpoint yet whether it's just because the competition got better and I'm just at a lower tier now, or just like other factors were that reason. So that is it. But yeah, stay tuned this afternoon for a video on viewer submitted battles, doing more analytical stuff like that. But yeah, let me know in the comments below what you finished with this season. If you could, like, based on watching my battles, if you could think there's any other reason I maybe did not hit legend. Yeah, that's basically it. So thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.